DMZ has been out for a while now, and it is Call of Duty's take on the extraction shooter genre. And I can tell you that it is almost good. Let me explain to you what Infinity Ward needs to fix to make DMZ extremely fun. But first, I need to start from the beginning. I have about 1600 hours in Escape from Tarkov and 0 hours into Battlefield's Hazard Zone because I was lucky enough not to play that garbage fire. Tarkov has dominated the extraction shooter genre, and for good reasons. The replayability is fantastic, the hardcore aspect makes it really difficult, and many other things. I was excited to see how Call of Duty would make something similar in a more casual environment. Now that I played DMZ, I can see the potential it has, but it has some major features that it's lacking. Now, I don't want DMZ to be like Tarkov. DMZ feels like an open world where there are many things you can choose to do with PvE and PvP content, but it has released partly finished, so I want to go over the problems with DMZ and what it needs to do to fix it. The main feature DMZ needs to add is a post-raid inventory. I want to be able to keep all the high tier loot I collect and sell it to buy gear and weapons. But do you know what happens to most of your loot after you extract it? It gets Thanos snapped from your inventory and turns into XP. Now you might be thinking that XP might help you unlock more weapons or quests to help you in the future. Nope, it goes to your overall level in Call of Duty. So once you've unlocked all the weapons in Call of Duty, that XP is basically useless. I can't keep any backpacks, armor vest, or money I find in raid, so if I die, I have to restart back to 0. The only things you keep post-raid is weapons, keys, and equipment, and collecting these items feels so pointless because you're basically handed most of these things anyways after you restart from 0. There needs to be an inventory where you can stash gear and money so it feels like you're progressing in the game. This also leads to my next topic, which is adding a marketplace. It would be great to buy and sell stuff post-raid. I like the addition of adding the Warzone shop so I can buy armor, weapons, UAVs, and many other things while in-game. But I would also like to buy armor and gear so I can bring them with me so I can go straight to the chemist or the weapon case without having to find good gear first. It would be great if you had to buy your attachments as well instead of just being able to use any meta attachments every game. Speaking of attachments, another system I think would help with this is crafting. Now, I don't think crafting is necessary for DMZ, but I think it would help to make it more in depth. There are items you collect throughout the world of DMZ, like batteries, alcohol, computers, and so many other things. It would be great to use those items to craft field upgrades, attachments, and equipment. Having to craft these items would help prevent people using the same meta field upgrades, equipment, and attachments. People would have to try to adapt with only a handful of attachments they can put on their gun. But if Infinity Ward wants to keep the system of letting you use any attachments for your insured gun, maybe you could use crafted attachments for contraband weapons. But I think it would be so refreshing to theory craft different builds for weapons every raid. But as I said before, I don't think DMZ needs a crafting system, but it would help make it more in-depth. Another huge problem I see in DMZ is the lack of risk and reward. Your insured weapon lets you build any weapon of your choice with any 5 attachments and tuning if you have all of that unlocked. The cooldown is every 2 hours and you can lower that cooldown when you extract with some extra cash. You can unlock more insured slots by completing every faction's tier 3 and tier 5 quests. There doesn't feel like a risk when you can constantly make a meta weapon every so often. Even then, you can find decent weapons in strongholds or locked rooms. Even the AI has some really good weapons like the RPK, the 74U, and the AK-47. And the rewards from DMZ are not very good. You can get the M13 from the chemist, but the M13 is one of the slowest T2Ks of all the ARs. The rewards from the weapon case are pretty lackluster. When you collect one case, you get a skin, which is good. Weapon skins are great. But then after you grab the second weapon case, you get a sticker. That's right, a weapon sticker. And the funny thing is that it's bugged. You can't even see the weapon sticker on the weapon. Then you get a helicopter skin, then a weapon charm, a calling card, an emblem, and you finally get an operator skin at the end. Grinding DMZ feels so pointless when there's no good rewards you get out of it. I know Infinity Ward slapped the beta tag on DMZ and they'll release a lot more rewards and content in the future, but that doesn't excuse these lackluster rewards on a $70 AAA game. And those are basically all the main problems that I think are plaguing DMZ. I would go over other problems like the constant crashing over and over and over and over, or the performance issues, but I'm pretty sure that will get fixed over time. Of course, once they fix the XP glitches to level up your weapons quickly, because leveling up your weapon the max level in 5 minutes is a lot more detrimental than my game crashing almost every single game, causing me to lose all my gear. Yep, this is a $1 billion game, alright.